Hi, this is Jane from Orange Brackets. Welcome. This morning, you're in the CEO seat at Atlas Dynamics. A wall of signals, a tight clock, and big calls to make. Our mission is clear. By 7:30 a.m., produce a crisp, one-page decision brief that cuts noise, resolves conflicts, and drives action. We'll turn scattered emails, ops signals, and finance shifts into clarity, so revenue moves, risk drops, and margins hold. We'll start with client emails. They're messy, but they're gold. We'll pull the latest threads and scan for urgency, deadlines, and revenue impact. Things like expansions, renewals, blockers, and who owns what. This gives us an early map of opportunities and risks. To work with that data, let's go ahead and import Pandas, our toolkit for reading CSVs, shaping tables, and doing quick analysis. Now we'll load our client email records from the datasets folder into a data frame called Client Emails. With it in a table, we can filter, clean, and analyze smoothly. Before we do anything else, let's preview the first few rows. That confirms it loaded and shows us which columns we have to work with. Right away, you'll see hot threads, scalability asks, billing disputes. You'll also notice softer signals that matter later, like references or legal reviews. We'll funnel these into two queues, opportunity and risk, each with a clear owner and deadline. That way, nothing gets lost and accountability is obvious. All right, let's bring in operations. This is where feasibility lives. Ops data helps us reconcile what sales wants with what we can safely deliver, and when. It also reveals mitigation plans already in motion, which can save deals if we thread the needle. Let's load our operations reports from the CSV and store it in a Pandas table called Ops Reports. We're pulling from the datasets folder so we can start exploring right away. Quick sanity check. Let's peek at the first few rows. Head gives us 5 rows so we can confirm it loaded, see column names, and scan sample values. Here's where things get interesting. GPU shipment delays push timelines and raise costs. Security patches create tight windows that can block rollouts. In simple terms, ops signals can change our promises and our promise dates. We'll use this to negotiate scope, set expectations, and avoid surprise escalations. Next up, finances, our macro compass. Margin pressure, runway posture, pipeline health, and churn risk shape what we prioritize. If budgets are tight, we lean into high ROI expansions and protect at-risk renewals. If margins are sliding, we cut low-value work or resequence delivery. Let's load our financial updates from the datasets folder into a data frame called Financial Updates. That makes it easy to slice, filter, and analyze. Now let's take a quick peek at the top of the table, just the first 5 rows, to confirm it loaded and to see the columns and sample values. With those trends visible, we can anchor recommendations. Fast-track renewals with churn flags. Greenlight expansions that pay back quickly. This turns our brief from a status report into a decision tool. Now let's compress everything into a morning context snapshot. We'll surface the highest urgency emails, the riskiest ops items, and any financial trends that aren't flat. This compact view orients us in seconds, so we focus on what moves revenue, margin, and risk today. Let's start by isolating the hottest items from client emails, only those marked high urgency. That gives us a clean list to act on first. We'll mirror that for operations and pull the reports flagged as high risk. This keeps attention on issues that may need immediate action. For finance, we care about movement, anything that isn't flat. We'll filter for updates where the trend actually shifted, up or down. Now let's package all 3 into one morning context. We'll turn each small table into plain dictionaries and stitch them into a single summary string we can send to a bot, a log, or a notification. Before we run with it, a quick pulse check on the inbox. Print the count of each urgency level so we see the mix, how many high, medium, and low. And the same for ops. Show the distribution of risk levels to sanity check how heavy the high bucket is today. Great, we've distilled the hotspots. That's our signal without the noise. This context is the backbone of the brief and keeps us laser-focused on impact. Now we'll wire up a lightweight LangChain prompt. The instruction tells the model to reconcile conflicts, rank actions by impact and urgency, assign owners and due dates, and add unblocker questions where a decision isn't ready yet. Think of it as your executive editor, crisp, factual, accountable. We'll start by bringing in our toolkit, the LangChain chat model, a prompt templating helper, and Do10v so our secrets load from the env file. Now we load those environment variables. That makes the API key available without hard coding anything. Let's initialize the chat model. We'll use a fast GPT-4o mini variant and set temperature to 0 for steady, repeatable answers. Time to craft the prompt. We'll define a template that positions the model as an executive briefing assistant for Atlas Dynamics. Here we spell out the input and the task, summarize today's signals, and deliver a tight morning brief under 250 words. First, we want the top 3 risks, each with an owner, the product, a deadline, and a short note on why it matters. Next, the top 3 opportunities. Call out the owner, the client, and the expected impact. Then, a ranked action list, ordered by impact and urgency, with a directly responsible individual and a due date for each item. We also ask it to reconcile conflicts, like sales versus ops, and make the trade-offs explicit. If something isn't decidable yet, we want the smallest set of unblocker questions, and the whole brief should be crisp and no fluff. Finally, we add a context section with a placeholder we'll fill at runtime, so this template works with any morning data. Now we connect the pieces, pipe the template into the model to form a simple chain. Let's run it, pass in our morning context, invoke the chain, and print the concise briefing.
Please take a moment to like this video, as it is going to be a great help, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel.
The result is a one-page morning decision brief. You'll see the top risks and opportunities, the recommended actions with a directly responsible individual and deadlines, and a short set of unblocker questions. It also calls out trade-offs, like a sales promise that collides with an ops constraint, so the CEO can decide fast and confidently. And that's the loop. We turned scattered signals into a clear, prioritized plan by 7:30. Less chaos, faster revenue, steadier margins. I'm Jane from Orange Brackets. Thanks for joining me. See you in the next session.